Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Michelle Trissa and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up. Just like to welcome you today. Please jump on and say hello and let me know where you're visiting from. It's always great to welcome new people to my live each week. Excuse me. Okay, what a week we have had. Well, in the last few days anyway. So if you've been watching and following along with Stamping Up, I'm sure you would notice that with Stamping Up have introduced some new colours. So each year when we bring out a new catalogue, we also bring out new in colours, but every 4 or 5 years or so, they also bring out or revamp our the colours that we have at the moment in all our inks and cardstock and everything. So they've gone through and they've done a colour refresh, which means a few colours change families and a few colours are deleted and new colours are added in. Now let me just show you a couple of slides on that. Bear with me 1 second. So there we are. They're the colours we're saying goodbye to, and I am going to miss so many of those colours. I love the Mango Melody. It's really nice and bright. I also love the soft suede. It's my go-to for when I want to add highlights to a card or give a card an aged look. I'm also going to miss the mint macaron and the soft succulent and evening evergreen. Just really beautiful colours. And the other go-to colour I have, and I'm truly going to miss, is the pear pizzazz. So this is a real big shake-up for a lot of us demonstrators. But as you can see there, look at those new colours that they're bringing back and new colours they're introducing. They are fantastic. Let me just show you another slide with all the families, and you can see some of the colours there and the new colours. So we've got a new lemon lolly, which is a really lovely soft lemon colour. Sorry, on my screen it's quite small, so I can finding a little bit hard to see, but there's a bubble bath, a beautiful, lovely pink. What else do we have that's going to be new there? Azure Afternoon, a really nice, again, that a bluey tone with a slight green tinge to it. That's going to fit in with those brights really well. So there's some of the colours that will be in our new catalogue, and you'll be able to purchase them when that catalogue goes live come May. So something to really look forward to. But watch out, because some of us demonstrators are going to be able to get those colours soon, and we'll be starting to play with them and seeing what we can come up with. Now we're also going to get new in colours. So these are the beautiful colours that we've got coming in the new in colours. Now, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you all the names of them because I cannot remember them. But really nice earthy tones. It's going to be quite interesting. Had a look at the catalogue yesterday, and there's quite a bit in there using those really nice earthy tones of colours. And of course, with the new catalogue, there it is there. So that's the new catalogue that's coming out. Now, if you already purchased product from me over the last 12 months, you will be getting a catalogue in the mail. Otherwise, if you don't have a demonstrator here in Australia and you'd like to get a copy of the catalogue, please let me know, and then I can get one when it comes available and have it sent to you. So let's go back to me again. There we are. And let me just bring up comments to see if anyone is here. As I said, please say hello and jump on. And we're going to get started and making something a little bit different, maybe a little bit fun, something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So let me just flip my camera around. So I'm just going to bring my camera back here in front of me. And let me bring my desk view up. There we go. So this is what I've been playing with this morning, and this is what I thought we'd replicate and make one. It's a tag. It's a very large tag. It's like a supersized tag, but really good to go on a gift or on a bag. I have got these big brown craft paper bags that I give people that I do alterations for. I give them their alterations back in one of these bags. And having a bag like this, come Christmas time, come birthdays, sometimes for my family. Hi, Rose, how are you? And Kim, it's great to see you join me today. I will at Christmas time, or as I said, birthdays, actually also use these bags to put gifts in for people, because I've always got them ready at hand. And having a tag like this that you can attach onto the handle or somewhere on the bag just decorates it beautifully. So I thought what we'd do is make this tag again today. Now, I'm going to be a little bit truthful here. This is a suite that is in our current catalogue. I purchased it probably 6 months ago. I have used the stamps and some of the dies, but I have never used the designer series paper. So today is the first day I've actually played with it. And it's just about to be deleted, and I'm actually loving it. So I better get moving and make some more. So we're going to make another one of these tags. So we're going to be using the Cottage Rose bundle, and it also comes with dies. Now I've already die cut some of these dies, and let me just show you what I've cut. They're beautiful, elegant. Let me turn this over and I can show you on here, but very delicate sort of flowers the dies are in this suite. So these are just some of them, and also then you also get dies too that will cut out this leaf pattern. Another die will cut out this pattern here, and there is another die in there as well that cuts. Let me just grab this designer series paper, and let me see if I can find the sheet I'm looking for. There we go, that one there. And it'll cut all these individual pieces out for you in one go. So as I said, I haven't played with these papers as yet. They've been sitting here collecting dust, and I've been very naughty at not doing something with them. But I can see I'm going to be having a little bit of fun maybe later on today, just sort of catching up and having a bit of a play. So I've already cut those out just to make our time a little bit quicker. Otherwise, I can tend to sort of go on a little bit longer than normal. And I'm used the happy birthday for my sentiment on here, and I've done some fussy cutting with some of the designer series paper. So I've already done that. So I've taken one of the sheets, I've got this design on it all over, and I'm just trying to, do I have a, so it's this paper here. So you've got this paper, and this is just one of the pieces on the edge, and I've just fussy cut that out, and we're just going to give it a little bit of an aged look by adding some ink. So let's get started. So these are the designer series papers I've pulled out. So I've got my cardstock, and I'm using Crumb Cake as my cardstock, and I've also got some Early Espresso. So they're the cardstock colors I'm going to be using. Let me just see, make sure this is all in line for you. There we go. One of the designer series papers has this beautiful stripe on it, and it's got that design on the back of it, but I'm using the stripe side. As I said, I'm going to be using that one, and on the back of that is just a basic grey, I think it is. Little design on there. Then you have this little floral. We're going to use this piece here, and that's the design on the back. And this one here, which looks, it's the reverse of that one, which has got like old paper. That's basically the best way to describe it. So, and it's just got one section of it's got menorama. I can never say that word. I'm not even going to try. But yeah, just I wanted that look of lots of embellishments. I'm trying to think of the name they actually call it, ephemera. So I wanted that sort of ephemera sort of look to it, but just using Stampin' Up products. So you could add a lot more to this. So this section here is actually like a pocket, and I've actually slipped those in. So I'll show you how I've made this, and let's get started. Have any questions, please ask, and I will answer them as best as I can now. If not, I will get back to you later with an answer after the video has finished. So I've got a piece of my crumb cake cardstock, and I've cut this at 10 by 14.9, which is usually a card front size. Card front size is actually 10.5, I'm sorry, by 14.9. And I think I've cut it down to, just checking, to 10 centimeters. So I've got my cut. Oh, golly, I'm hopeless with words today. I've got my trimmer. That's the word I'm looking for. And all I'm going to do is cut off that down to 10 centimeters. I just want it a little bit smaller than in width, but still keep the length. But one thing I do want to do is cut off some angles at the corners. And what I'm going to do is use my ruler here on my trimmer, and I'm just going to mark 2 centimeters in from each end. So I'm marking it at 2 and at 8. And then I'm going to, on the sides here, mark it at 2. And also mark this one at 2. So that's just to help give me a guide of cutting my corner angles. A little bit of furriness there. I probably need to put a new blade in my cutting. So all I'm going to do now is just pop those pencil marks in the groove of my trimmer, and using my cutting blade, just trim those off. I'm having trouble today. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. So again, just putting those pencil marks into the groove of my trimmer and just cutting that off. So that gives you that extra large tag. So I'll pop that to a side. The one thing I am going to do next is I'm going to grab my soft suede, which is, as I said, one of my go-to colors, but it is retiring. Now, with all of these retiring colors, if there's any ink refills, cardstock, any of that sort of thing that you want, grab it now, because once the retiring list comes out, well, it's come out, but once it goes up for sale on the 4th of next month, a lot of these things are going to go very, very quickly. Now I've got my little blending brush here. This is not a Stampin' Up one, but it's around about the same size as the Stampin' Up small ones, so which are in the mini catalogue. And I'm just going to take a little bit off and then just go around all my edges. Just want to just add a little bit of colour to the edges of my cardstock here, and I'm working from the outside coming in just to give a little bit of an aged effect. You can make this as dark or as light as you want. I'm probably making this one a little bit darker than I made my other one. So what part of Victoria are you from, Rose? I know a little bit of Victoria. My family, a lot of family of mine live down there. And actually got an invite to a family reunion happening down in Victoria, but unfortunately we can't make it. Now I'm going to also, which I didn't do in the other one, I'm just going to ink. I'm just tapping this in there. I just want to ink my edges a little bit. Just again, just to give a little bit of darkness to those edges. And that's looking quite good. Now I'm going to use the large floral here, and I'm using the crumb cake stamp pad, and I'm going to now stamp some of these images on top of my crumb cake, and just adding the images randomly. Some of them are going to get covered up. Just turning it a little bit so you sort of get a little bit of a different, not all going the same way, have it in a different bit of a different angle. Fill in a few of these little holes there. And these ones over here are really going to get covered, but that's okay. I think that's enough. I just want that edge there really, and probably a little bit up here, having some of those stamped images on there. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. And then I'm going to grab the Designer Series paper, and that's in your Petal Pink. So I've used Petal Pink for my die cut flowers as well, and I've also die cut my flowers using soft sea foam as well, because I wanted that real nice soft vintagey sort of look. Now I have spoken about this before. The way you tear your paper can be quite important. It's up to you. If you tear it towards yourself, you're going to show the white core of the paper. If you tear it away from yourself, you're just going to have the tear along the edge, so the white core will be shown on the other side. Now I want the white core to show. So, and I'm tearing this. I want this piece is going to go here. I want a smaller area up here and coming slightly wider down there. So I'm going to turn it around and start from this end. As I said, tearing it towards me, and that way it gives me the white core of the paper. And I'm just going to tear that at an angle. This can be easily trimmed back until I'm happy with that. And actually, I don't need to trim this back at all. The one I did before this, I actually tore it, and I had to trim some off the side. So it's just a matter of tearing it at an angle. Now, again, what I want to do is come back in with my soft suede and go over these edges. Again, just starting off, and I'm just going to bring that brush and sort of age those edges of my cardstock. I'm not taking it all the way in the center, but I'm just going around all my edges. Now, I am going to trim a bit of this off in a minute. Whoops, I should have. That's okay. Some of this is, I forgot to there start off. I put my brush directly onto the Designer Series paper, which is not an ideal thing to do, but it's not the end of the world either. Now, I do want this to form like a pocket, so I'm going to pop a bit of glue. Usually I would pop the glue on the back of this, but I'm actually, because I've got that corner there, I'm going to pop the glue on the front of this. So I'm just going to judge very quickly where my glue is going to go. And it's just going to go down there, across, and then about to there. So that's all I want to do, is just add glue onto those areas there. And line that up. Now, of course, I could have inked around the 3 edges there after I've glued it, because I do have to ink up a little bit once I've trimmed that off. And I've just got my little trimmer here. And you can use a pair of scissors if you want to use a pair of scissors, but I just find the trimmer is just as easy. And we're just going to trim that little bit of designer series paper off there. I'm not going to add any more ink onto my brush. I think I've got enough on there, and I'm just going to add that colour onto there. I might just add a little bit more colour down the bottom here just to balance that out a bit. Just so then my heavy-handedness looks like it was meant to be rather than not meant to be. Maybe just soften that a little bit there. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to take the sentiment that's in this set, which is called Best Wishes, and we're going to stamp this all over, and I'm going to stamp it off just so it's not coming up really dark. I just want a sort of a light, and just again, just randomly stamping. I want to be able to read it though, so could do the odd one in full strength. I might just do another full strength down there. This one here's come up a bit light, so I'm going to go over the top. Doesn't matter if you go over the top of it and it's not lined up. It is a shabby chic sort of look. And maybe a little bit more just there. So that's the base of our card. Now, the other one thing I do want to do at this moment is punch a hole. Now, this tag, this punch I'm using now here is long discontinued, but I've kept it because I really like this little circle here. But I think the other trio punch that is available also has like a square type hole you could use, or if you've got any sort of hole punch, you could punch a hole just in the top up there. And I'm just going to add a little bit more around that hole just to make sure that it looks like it was always there. Okay, so now we've got these three pieces here. Now again, I'm just going to take this out of the road. Again, I just want to age up the edges of this, and I'm also going to use my soft suede. As I said, I am going to miss my soft suede. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour all the way around the edges just to give that aged effect, making sure you go off those edges before you start with your brush. And don't forget this side cut edge as well. Just blending that a little bit into the center, but that's what I want. Whoops, and you don't stick your finger in the stamp pad. So that is just going to get glued onto there, and as I said, that will just cover that. Now I'm just going to be careful. I don't want the glue going underneath those flowers, so I'm just going to add some glue there, and then I'm just going to draw myself a line of glue. Just like that, because I don't want to lose that, close that pocket up. Position that where you want it, and making sure you've still got that pocket there that we can add these things into. Now this is where you can add anything you want in here. If you've got other ephemera that you want to add, or stamped images, you could put little butterflies in there. Anything that goes with it would look quite nice in there. But what I am going to do, because I want to put these two in here, I'm going to glue these two together. Just putting a little bit of glue down there. Of course, you can use your seal if you want to use your seal. And I'm just going to pop those two together like that. And then they can just get, you could put a bit of glue on the back of these if you wanted to, and then they can just get tucked. Oops. Not quite wanting to go in there. There we go. They can get tucked into there. Just like that. And if you wanted to keep them there, just grab yourself a glue dot. Pop your glue dot underneath there. Push that down, and that will keep that there quite securely. So there's that. I wish I had one of those butterflies. I've usually got bits and pieces lying around, but I think I had a clean out a while back because you've got your butterfly stamp, and I had coloured some butterflies. Let me just have a look, see if I threw anything in here that we can use. Sometimes anything you've got lying around, and I know that's not a butterfly, but that's a nice little bit I could add into here. Put a little bit of lace in there. So if I'm going to use that, I'm actually going to age that up a little bit. That's from another stamp set that from ages ago that I coloured. And I just want to give that a little bit of a... So anything really to give you that ephemera look. Hi, Joan. We're just sort of having a play here, making a large tag. Just working out, getting things that I've got lying around my desk. I was saying before, I've been very naughty and not used this designer series paper. So I'm going to grab a couple of glue dots and an empty box because my glue dots are sitting here. And I'm just going to add a few little glue dots to this. So I'm just using scraps really that I've got lying around on my desk just to give a bit of a fun look. And because we've made a pocket just here, you can slip that into your pocket just to add a little bit of colour. Even though it's not the same colours we're going to be using, I think it still work quite well. So now we've got our little delicate flowers here that we've that I die cutted earlier. And I'm just poking out some of those holes there. You can work out where they're going to go. And then we've got some leaves. And I'm just going to use the glue dots, I think, to glue this down. Just going to fold my glue dot. I want to pop one there. One on there. And pop that there. And And then this one here, I'm going to add another glue dot on the back of that. And of course you could build this up. The other one I did wasn't built up as much, but of course you can just add as much or as little as you want. Might add another one just about there. Now, if you've seen the new colours that we've got coming in, if you've got a favourite colour that you are looking forward to either returning or you really like one of the new colours, share with us now. Or is there a colour you are going to really, really miss, like I'm going to really miss the soft suede? Now, the next thing I need to do is make up our sentiment. I might just keep those flowers there just in case I want to add some more. And I'm just using the happy birthday sentiment. And I'm going to stamp that using my Versamark. Really must clean up my desk. I'm going to stamp that there. I'm just going to trim this down a bit because it's not going to fit into my mini cut and emboss machine. And then I've got a scrap of paper here somewhere. Just right there. That'll do for me. And I'm using gold embossing powder. Just going to add a bit of gold. Give that a good gold on early espresso is not the in powder form is not the easiest to see, but it will look better once we've heat embossed that. You like all the new in colours, Rose? Yeah, I think they're going to be interesting to play with. I can't wait. I'm hoping the pecan is going to replace my soft suede. But I love blues, anything in those blue tones, and that dirty sort of earthy type blue. I think I'm going to love it, and because they've brought back they're bringing back one of the other blues I really like. I can't think now what it's called now. It's sort of like a denim blue. So I'm going to be looking forward to that coming back as well. Now, of course, with this tag, if you've got like vellum pieces left over that you've cut, just unfortunately, recently I threw a lot of bits and pieces away. I get to the point, I've got stuff everywhere. My desk is a mess. I'm always working in a confined space of mess. And, not quite heat that one. That's looking better. I think that's all done. So I've always got a mess everywhere, and I've always got little bits and pieces all over the place. But every now and then I have a clean up. And I haven't got any. Usually I've got little butterflies and things lying all over the place, but I haven't today. So maybe I should put them all in a container. Okay, now we need to die cut this. So I'm using one of the banner dies from Stylish Shapes, which is continuing in our new catalog, which is good because it is a nice set of dies. If you don't have a nice dies that you really like, it is a really good set to have. But can I really stress, if there's something you want, like especially with the ring inkers and the cardstock, and you know that color is going, or that die is going, or the Stamparatus, it's going, don't leave it to the last minute to get, because you will find that if you wait for too long, then they're going to be gone before you know it. I'm just using a little bit of post-it note here. I'll just move this up so you can see. Sometimes I wish you guys had a buzzer so you can buzz me every time I go off camera, because I get so caught up with what I'm doing that I don't look. So I've just popped all that onto the plate. I'm using the post-it note tape there just to hold my die in place. Now, I did ask before, Rose, I don't know whether you heard, but what part of Victoria are you from? You from up the top towards Albury end of Victoria, or are you more towards the Gippsland, Melbourne end of Victoria, or South Australia side? So, Joan, do you have a favourite colour that you're going to be sad to see might be going, or have you got a new favourite colour coming in? Okay, so here's our tag, and I've got our sentiment there, and I'm just going to take some dimensionals and pop that up on dimensionals. Oh, my stomach is starting to growl. And that is going to go right across those there. Don't know whether I do like that in there or not. It is very different in colour. I might just take that out, actually. Pop those back in. But I mean, basically, I was sort of, really, I'm trying to show that you can, if you make that little pocket, you could add all sorts of things in there. This might be too purple, but you could always add one of those in there if you wanted to add a bit more. Also cut this one out in the green. That doesn't look too bad. Then I've got a single one. Just trying to use some of these up because, as I said, I do tend to throw them away if I haven't used them. I'm I can be a little bit of a hoarder. So if I don't throw things away, I will tend to keep. And then it sort of becomes a case of everything's falling down on top of me. So I'm sort of stepping this up a little bit more than the other one that I did. Pop that one into... Yeah, so if I don't throw things away, I will keep them. And then I end up in big trouble because I've got too much. Just going to cut that off. Yeah, I'm going to put a bow on this yet. Want to see, do we need to add a bit more? Let me put my bow on, then we'll work it out. Okay, so I've got here, out of your basic twine, I've chosen the crumb cake and the very vanilla, because actually our base of our cardstock here is actually very vanilla, not so much white. And I'm going to put the two colours together and tie quite a big floppy bow. I'll have to redo that one. You do these things on camera, never quite work. Got to allow yourself quite a bit there. That's better. So I wanted quite a big bow. And now I'm going to grab another glue dot. Let's just get rid of some of this excess paper. Pop that glue dot on the back here. And I'm just going to put take a pick tool right in the center of that knot. Whoops, my glue dot's disappeared. Oh, it's on my finger. Okay, let's just push that down a little bit harder. Take a pick tool into that knot, and it keeps falling off. Let's pop that onto there. I want to pop that really into there as best as I can. It's not wanting to stay. That might be better. The glue dot's still there on the back. I'm going to take that and just push that up underneath the sentiment so that knot is hidden. And that's why I was trying to get the take a pick tool really into the knot of the bow so I could push it up well and truly. So then just trim these tails off to the length that you want it. Now, because it is a big tag and it's not like a card, you could have these tails going quite long. You could even have them at different lengths, which I'm going to do there. I'm happy with that. And the last thing we need to do is I'm going to use these champagne rhinestones, and I've got a funny feeling they could be going, so I've got to use them up. You've got different sizes here, so I wanted to have a big one, and I'm going to pop that one down there, grab another big one, put it about there. Let's grab a couple of little ones here. I'm not normally a blingy person, but with this one, I think I might just use a little bit more than I would normally. And I want to do one more grouping because I like my groups in threes. And we might have another grouping up here. One more. Just like that. So now I'm going to grab my baker's twine again and my two colours. Now this is where you could also add whatever ribbons that you have If you've got some of the lacy ones we've had in the past, great way to use up some of your discontinued spare ribbons and laces. And I'm just going to grab quite a long length there. I've got, let me just see if I can measure this, probably around about half a metre there. And I'm going to fold that in half and trim that. And then I'm going to fold that in half again. I'm going to take this from, I'm going to go take all those folded ends from the back towards the front, making sure all of them have gone through, and then thread what's at the back through the front, just to give us that really nice tassel look. And then all these cut ends here, you can cut and trim it off just like that. Now you could, as I said, you could have ribbons in there or laces in there, anything to give you a really nice full sort of look. It's really up to you. You could put a little bit of gold into that if you want to put a bit of gold into that. But there you go. There's another tag. Let me just grab my original one, which I haven't decorated as much. Still not quite sure. It's like almost need a little bit of more pink into there. I'm still sort of thinking that might just have to go in there. A little bit too much green, I think, altogether. That even doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of that. But by having that pocket there, you can just add all bits and pieces. You could add different sentiments. You could add a note in there if you wanted to add a note to whoever you're giving this to, just to wish them a happy birthday. You can put something on there so then they know to pull that note out. But there you go. So just something a little bit, get rid of that. Don't need that one. Just something a little bit different, a little bit fun. As I said, I've been wanting to do these big tags for a long time. They're always good, worthwhile just to have in your stash for that last minute gift. And if you're like me and you have some big bags in your craft cardstock, then that would look quite good. So let me just pop that onto there so you can see how you can use them. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. I hope you will create something like this yourself. If you do, please share it with me, tag me in it. If you post it on Facebook, I'd love to see. So thank you for joining me again today. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. Thanks, Kim and Rose and Joan. It's really fantastic having you on here. So have a lovely day. Keep your eye open for all those discontinuing products. I have put it on my Facebook page and the links to the lists of what will be going. And come the 4th of April, when they actually go on sale, grab yourself a bargain. So have a lovely week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.